welcome you. Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Whomever you love, we welcome you. Whoever you are, we welcome you. Wherever you come from, we welcome you. Whomever you love, we welcome you. Good morning. I am Demetrius Ingram, and I will be presenting today with Megan Rancier, and we will be presenting about gratitude. Steve and Lynn Israel are handling streaming here with us, and Kevin McClooney, Noel McClooney, and Lisa Merrill Price are providing technical support. Thank you all so much for tuning in today for our live streaming service in light of the social distancing needed for reducing the spread of COVID-19. We are glad that we can keep in touch and support our community even if we can't be together in person. If you'd like an order of service, please look in the comments or on the video or see the email sent this morning. We gather today to foster our understanding of our place in the universe, embracing the worth and dignity of all, supporting justice, equity, and peace in our world, accepting one another as we search for meaning, and respecting the connectedness of all life. Please take a moment to think of all your friends at MVUC. Greet them with a comment on Facebook, and remember that you can still reach out to them via email, phone, social media, or video chat. I've been doing that a lot lately. Physical distancing does not need to mean emotional distancing. Let us support one another. Visitors. As we are a diverse group with varying interests and beliefs, our services are varied in format, tone, and topic. We encourage you to attend or view several services to gain a good understanding of our congregation. If you'd like to receive our weekly email newsletter, please email us at news@mvuuc.org. MVUUC remains committed to supporting our members and friends during this difficult time of social distancing. For that reason, we are coordinating assistance with groceries, phone calls, and other needs. If this sounds like something that would be helpful to you, please send an email to sac@mvuuc.org. That's SAC, S as in Sam, A as in Apple, C as in cat, at mvuuc.org with your name and what kind of assistance you would like to request. Now is the time for announcements. If you have an announcement, please add it as a comment on the Facebook Live video, and we will read them aloud. Let's see. Our first announcement today is from Kevin McClooney. Please make an announcement about the online discussion after the service. After the service, please feel free to continue discussing the service topic in the comments on Facebook or join us for a virtual coffee hour. Just click on the link in the comments, which are already there. And I'll take a moment just to see if there are any other announcements. Is it in here? All right. Still getting the hang of all this. All right. This announcement is from Winnie Rex. Thank you to all of them who continue to send in your checks for your pledges. The mail is checked regularly. Also, thank you to those who contribute electronically, both through regular payments from their bank or using the PayPal button on our Facebook page, which I definitely encourage everyone to do at this moment, if you will. Thank you for contributing to keeping MVUC running during the time while we remain physically distanced. From Winnie Rex, MVUC Treasurer. Let's see. And I do not believe I see any more announcements at this time. Oh, I do have one announcement. If you all haven't read in the newsletter or gotten word, there is a new email for services, services@mvuuc.org. You can email your announcements or joys and concerns to that place. You can iMessage them, or you can continue to submit them via Facebook Live in the comments. Obviously, the sooner the better of getting those in, and more likely that we can catch those before we start reading them. If there are no further announcements, the chalice will be lit today by Lynn Israel. Please join me in reading the words for the chalice lighting that appear as a comment on the Facebook Live video or in the order of service, which is also posted as a comment on the video. Let the kindling of this flame rekindle in us the inner light of love, of peace, of hope. Let's begin our service. Our opening words today are written by Angeles Arian, who is an amazing Baroque American lady in leadership. And she reflects on gratitude in her piece entitled Reflections in Living in Gratitude. What is gratitude? The application of multicultural wisdom, the shared values and the inherent positive beliefs of humanity has become known as perennial wisdom. Perennial wisdom has been passed on from generation to generation since the birth of humankind. It continues to surface among diverse peoples, unconnected by geography or language, yet inextricably linked to what is inherently important in our shared experience of what it means to be human. The expression of gratitude continues to be the glue that consistently holds society and relationships together. Its opposite, ingratitude, contributes to societal desolation and separation. The expression of gratitude is essential to humankind's sustainability and survival. Gratitude's stabilizing and healing effects, which have been researched from multiple standpoints, cultural, psychological, physical, spiritual, even financial, have made it abundantly clear that the benefits of living a grateful life are irrefutable. Please join us as we will now sing hymn number 34, Though I May Speak with Bravest Fire. If you have a book at home, go ahead and stand up or sit down and sing along. Words are in a Facebook comment. that in her love, by every deed, by this we worship and are free.
So this is our first reflection for the day. Demetrius had the great idea that both he and I should do sort of mini reflections about gratitude. So I'm going to offer my perspective, and then he's going to offer his. One piece of advice I find myself frequently giving to friends and colleagues in recent weeks is just take it one day at a time, or just focus on what's in front of you. Because this is the advice that I try to give to myself, to keep me from getting too far ahead of myself, too buried in the news of the day, or too wrapped up in my own thoughts and fears. Since I'm not particularly good at taking my own advice, another very important coping mechanism I've developed lately is taking daily walks, either alone or with my husband, around the neighborhood or in the nature preserve near our house. And that is where I have felt the most able to connect with a feeling of gratitude. It's there that I remember to focus on what's right in front of me, to absorb the sights and sounds and smells that surround me, and to take it one day, no, one moment at a time. On these walks, with every step, I notice a change in the light, a new sound, a different tree, the sensations under my feet and on my face. Letting myself get immersed in noticing all of these fascinating aspects of every moment has helped to calm me, keep me present, and remind me to be grateful for the ability to experience the wonders of these moments. I know that the Buddhist theologian Thich Nhat Hanh is perhaps too commonly referenced by UUs, but I keep thinking about some of his key ideas when I experience these moments of gratefulness. One very simple phrase that he often repeats is, present moment, wonderful moment. This phrase also pairs very easily with simple meditation. Breathing in, you realize what a miraculous thing it is to breathe, and what a pleasure it is to fill your lungs with precious oxygen. Breathing out, you feel gratitude for that breath and for the life it sustains. In fact, Thich Nhat Hanh offers a simple phrase to think to yourself as you do this. Breathing in, I know that I am breathing in. Breathing out, I smile. So why don't we all try that right now? Breathing in, I know that I am breathing in. Breathing out, I smile. Isn't that great? This is a wonderful way to experience gratitude for one of the simplest activities of our lives. Indeed, it's one that we might not even think about on a regular basis, but we should, because wouldn't we miss it if we couldn't do it anymore? Thich Nhat Hanh describes it this way, quote, if you want to experience what the end of suffering will feel like, it is in the here and the now with this breath. If you want nirvana, it's right here, end quote. With this quotation, Han reminds us that we have the ability to let go of everything that is causing us to suffer. All of our worries about the unknown, about health, about our loved ones, our jobs, our nation, and to simply appreciate the fact that we are here, now, and we are breathing. To me, this is the simplest and yet the most profound way to feel gratitude. Every moment can be a wonderful moment if we can just be present to recognize it and appreciate that we are present for this experience. To not take it for granted, but to realize that this exact moment will never happen again, and we can treasure it. It is, in Han's words, the easiest way to touch a little happiness. Now, Thich Nhat Hanh has another phrase that I think is relevant in this discussion of gratitude: no mud, no lotus. And he describes it this way, quote, "Everyone knows we need to have mud for lotuses to grow. The mud doesn't smell so good, but the lotus flower smells very good. If you don't have mud, the lotus won't manifest. You can't grow lotus flowers on marble. Without mud, there can be no lotus." End quote. At the same time that we can feel gratitude for every moment, we can certainly recognize that not every moment is guaranteed to be pleasant. Some moments in our lives may be uncomfortable or painful or damaging. And we certainly aren't required to enjoy that discomfort or pain or damage. But no mud, no lotus means that even the unpleasant moments of life are full of potential. And in fact, it is life's most difficult moments that often give us the most profound insight into ourselves and hold the greatest potential to expand our understanding and our compassion for others. How can we empathize with someone in pain if we have never experienced that pain ourselves? Now, we certainly don't have to joyfully exclaim, "Thank goodness that horrible thing happened to me. Look at all the insight I've gained from it." No. Of course, it would be better if none of us had to suffer. But as most of us know, there is no such thing as a world without suffering. And this is one of the core tenets of Buddhist philosophy. The point here is not to avoid suffering, but to find ways to be present with it, examine it, breathe, and make something positive out of it. So in this way, we can also find ways to feel gratitude for the mud of life, because that is where the lotus of happiness can bloom most beautifully. So I invite everybody to give themselves an opportunity today to experience a moment of gratitude by taking a joyful breath and experiencing the wonderfulness of this moment and every moment.
I've entitled my reflection, Details in Gratitude. There are so many ways to show your gratitude. Have you ever noticed that? I mean, just in this moment, I think about how many thank you notes I have written, how many times I've tipped over the standard 20%, how many trips to the dumpster I have made carrying my roommates' trash out of their rooms when they weren't home, and I just so happened to notice that their bin was at its capacity. I think about these times and so many more, and I truly feel like I was just going through the motions. It's how I was raised, and this is what I am supposed to do to be a good person. I am sure that many of us can relate to this, but let's dig a little deeper, just for a moment. At the surface, these are just ways to show our appreciation for surface interactions. Someone receives a note of thanks in reciprocation of giving a gift. A server receives a tip over the standard rate because they provided excellent tableside service. I take my roommate's trash out because it was just simply in my line of sight. So, why not? For me, that is where being gracious starts. Why not? I am really hoping I am not the only one on the island here who feels this way, but in my life, I spend too much time thinking about, manifesting, and realizing reasons that I will not show my somewhat unwavering kindness to someone. For example, as most of you may know, I work in retail. It's a treat. Retail is one of those industries where you have to truly humble yourself. Realize that everyone will not be your favorite person, and on your phony smile and voice that covers the dark side of gratitude. Usually, you do this through gritted teeth, and it's something I like to call forced gratitude. We go through forced gratitude often, in my opinion, and it's usually what we go through when we are ranting and raving about an incident or something of that sort where we are so angry about the situation. But we have to audibly remind ourselves of the silver lining. It usually goes a little something like this. This idiot just rear-ended me, and now I'm going to be late to work. But I guess I'm not hurt, so there's that. Or more topical, I have the flu, and I have so much to get done at work. Now everything is going to be pushed back, but I have a job, I have time off, and it's just the flu. Or usually, in my case, why am I scheduled to work every single Sunday this month? I won't get to go to service, and people are going to end up forgetting my face, my wonderful face. But at least I have a job, so I can afford my living, and I am not currently in New York as a struggling artist. Being a server at a restaurant I can't even afford to eat at, right? I am no expert on gratitude and its many versions, but I can almost bet my life savings, $3, that most of you out there can relate. Forced gratitude is so interesting to me because I think people express and live in this form of gratitude the most. It's second nature to us. Be honest now. Just think about it in regards to yourself. How many times a day do you stop and appreciate the smaller but important details of your life? If you are so lucky, you are watching and listening to this live stream of me rambling, and you don't need any accessibility assistance. If you are so lucky, you can get up from where you are and not have to worry about pain as you make your way 10 feet into the next room. If you are so lucky, you can fall asleep with your loved ones nearby without a worry in your mind. They are safe, they are loved, they're with you. If you are so lucky, you have means to entertainment during this time of impromptu 100% togetherness. Maybe you have art supplies at home for the kiddos, or maybe you have Wi-Fi and streaming services for the older folks in the home. If you're lucky, you have Monopoly and Cards Against Humanity. Now that's a good time. If you are so lucky, though you are at home and work and possibly teaching third grade math to your 8-year-old kid, they are healthy. You are healthy. If you are so lucky, though you have been laid off and stuck at home and feel unsure about what is going to happen next, you are healthy enough to be worried. And even though you may not know it, you are lucky enough that there is someone there to help you if you just reach out and ask. It's in the details and gratitude. It is not only about the condition of our home, our state, our country, our earth. So much more of the time, it has to be about the condition of you. Now, that is not to say that you should call all your friends and say, girl, I just heard from a weird old man that it has always been about me and you are wrong. No, don't do that. I know this is going to sound cliche, and I am ready for the comments on this. But what I mean is that we have to stop living in the forced gratitude state of mind. We as people are worth introspection. We deserve and absolutely should take a look under our own hoods every now and again, just to make sure we are still caring for ourselves, even in the midst of our busy lives. If someone asked, Meech, when's the last time you were grateful for something? Most likely, I would just say, well, today I realized I should be grateful for work because some guy came into my store complaining about how the unemployment site is crashing constantly, almost every day. And you know what? That's a good thing to be grateful for. Work. On the other hand, though, sure, there's being grateful that you are employed, but how about the last time you are grateful to yourself that you have the ability to work? Or this may apply to some and not others, but definitely applies to me. I'm being grateful that I was raised to have a strong work ethic because that was admired and pursued in my childhood home. Details and gratitude are the things that usually make us happy. Angeles Arian also writes in her book, Living in Gratitude, A Journey That Will Change Your Life, quote, when people in great numbers choose to practice, integrate, and embody gratitude, the cumulative force that is generated can help create the kind of world we all hope for and desire for ourselves and for our future generations, end quote. Those words resonate so much with the message I want to convey to you all today. Because gratitude isn't just around because we are taught manners from our parents or from our elders. In that last quote, Arian alludes to the idea that we as individual people must choose to embody gratitude. And I assume she means that with our whole selves. As stated in the opening words today, of all the universal themes that have been transmitted through perennial wisdom, it's the expression of gratitude that continues to be the glue that consistently holds society and relationships together. May it be so.
Thank you so much, Demetrius. So now I'm going to do the UU principle connection. And I think the theme of gratitude can apply equally to of our 7 UU principles. So I'm going to try to briefly highlight these connections. Living in gratitude means that we are better able to understand what it means to recognize the inherent worth and dignity of every person. When we feel gratitude for our lives and for what we have, we recognize how fortunate we are. We're better able to appreciate the fact that every person deserves to live in gratitude and to have not only the basic necessities of life, but also the joys and pleasures that make life worth living. In the same vein, it is the foundation of justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. Just as gratitude can help us to recognize the worth and dignity of every person, it can also help us to tap into the well of compassion that can fuel efforts to fight for just and equitable treatment of all people. Gratitude for our own lives necessarily entails the recognition that many of us benefit from deeply instituted systems that are fundamentally unjust and inequitable, and that we must work to dismantle those systems so that the worth and dignity of every person is respected in our communities, institutions, and in our legal system. Gratitude is also the foundation of a thriving spiritual community. When we feel gratitude for the ideas that we gather from various sources and our own insights into them, we're better able to accept one another and encourage each other towards spiritual growth, each in our own unique way. Gratitude can also guide a free and responsible search for meaning, truth and meaning. It keeps us humble in the recognition that even though we cannot control everything that happens in the world or in our lives, we can appreciate those moments that bring us joy and meaning. When we recognize those joyful, meaningful moments, we can begin to use them to build a spiritual path for ourselves, wherever it may lead. It is not difficult to see how gratitude can inform the remaining three principles: right of conscience and the use of the democratic process, the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all, and the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. When we live in gratitude, we are always conscious of the things that make our lives meaningful, and we are aware that whatever good fortune we may enjoy in our own lives deserves to be shared by all members of the world community. We recognize that more often than not, whatever comfort we enjoy in our everyday lives depends on resources and people outside of ourselves. And we can renew our commitment to show our gratitude by ensuring that those resources and people are protected. Join us as we now sing hymn number 360, Here Gathered.
Gathered side by side, circle of kinship, come and step inside. May all who seek here find a kindly word. May all who speak feel they are the word. Sing now together, raise our hearts on song. Here we have gathered, all to celebrate days of our lifetime, that is long and great. We of all ages, women, children, men, infants and sages, sharing what we can. Sing now together, raise our hearts on song. As its shadows, sorrows and regrets, but in the shadows, let us not forget. We who now gather, know each other's pain, kindness and illness, as we give we gain. Sing out in friendship, raise our hearts on song.
And now our closing words from a TED Talk by Brother David Steindl-Rast. Want to be happy? Be grateful. What is the connection between happiness and gratefulness? Many people would say, well, that's very easy. When you're happy, you're grateful. But think again. Is it really the happy people that are grateful? We all know quite a number of people who have everything it would take to be happy, and they are not happy because they want else, or they want more of the same. And we all know people who have lots of misfortune that we ourselves would not want to have, and they are deeply happy. They radiate happiness. You're surprised. Why? Because they're grateful. So it is not happiness that makes us grateful. It's gratefulness that makes us happy. Now, the key to all of this is that we cannot only experience this once in a while. We can't only have grateful experiences. We can be people who live gratefully. Grateful living, that's the thing. And how can we live gratefully? By experiencing, by becoming aware that every moment is a given moment. It's a gift. Now, we say the gift within this gift is really the opportunity. What you're really grateful for is the opportunity, not the thing that is given to you. Because if that thing were somewhere else and you didn't have the opportunity to enjoy it, to do something with it, you wouldn't be grateful for it. Every moment is over and over again. And if you miss the opportunity of this moment, another moment is given to us, and another moment. We can avail ourselves of this opportunity, or we can miss it. And if we avail ourselves of the opportunity, it is the key to happiness. Does that mean that we can be grateful for everything? Certainly not. We cannot be grateful for violence, for war, for oppression, for exploitation. On the personal level, we cannot be grateful for the loss of a friend, for unfaithfulness, for bereavement. But I didn't say we can be grateful for everything. I said we can be grateful in every given moment for the opportunity. And even when we are confronted with something that is terribly difficult, we can rise to this occasion and respond to the opportunity that is given to us. It isn't as bad as it might seem. Actually, when you look at it and experience it, you find that most of the time, what is given to us is the opportunity to enjoy. And we only miss it because we are rushing through life and we're not stopping to see the opportunity. But once in a while, something very difficult is given to us. And when this difficult thing occurs to us, it's a challenge to rise to that opportunity. And we can rise to it by learning something which is sometimes painful. Learning patience, for instance. We have been told that the road to peace is not a sprint, but is more like a marathon. That takes patience. That's difficult. It may be to stand up for your opinion, to stand up for your conviction. That's an opportunity that is given to us. To learn, to suffer, to stand up. All these opportunities are given to us, but they are opportunities. And those who avail themselves of those opportunities are the ones that we admire. They make something out of life. And those who fail get another opportunity. We always get another opportunity. That's the wonderful richness of life. Please join me in reading the words for extinguishing our chalice that can be found as a comment on the Facebook Live video or in the order of service, which is also posted as a comment on the video. As we extinguish this flame, we affirm that we are wanted, we are loved, and we are grateful for the warmth of our small but mighty community. We've moved the offertory to the end of our service because when you click on the PayPal link provided in the Facebook Live video comment section, you will lose your connection to our live feed. We're still counting on your pledge payments and donations to help sustain the congregation that is so important to all of us, supporting our efforts to be a community of love, truth, justice, and service. So after the service, please feel free to continue discussing the service topic in the comments on Facebook, and then please click on the PayPal link to donate. And thank you in advance. And now, let us sing our closing song, Go With the Song in Your Heart. You can find the words as a comment on the Facebook Live video or in the order of service, which is also posted as a comment on the video.
With the memory of a melody, go with the song in your heart. Go with the song in your heart.